Tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening, Iowa. This is your Size Eyes meteorologist, Stefan Sundin, coming at you with the Iowa forecast. We see temperatures in the low to mid 60s throughout the state of Iowa, and a little bit warmer in central Iowa particularly. And then to summarize the week ahead, we have some comfortable weather conditions coming up with those low to mid 60s. We have well above average temperatures this weekend, and we also have potential storm chances early next week with moisture coming into the state.
Plus, Nico has your national forecast. All that and more as this Tuesday, April 9th, 2024's edition of Size Eyes on the Skies starts now.
Broadcasting live from the studios at Iowa State University, the Iowa State Meteorology Department brings you the latest weather from across the country and out your front door. This is Size Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening. I'm your host, Matt Crook. We begin with tonight's weather story. On this day in 1983, the third and heaviest snow in 6 days established a snowfall record for April of 7.2 inches. The temperatures quickly went above freezing, so the snow didn't linger. April of 1983 is the coolest of record with an average temperature of only 46.3 degrees. And now to discuss more with what's happening around the country, here's Nico with your national forecast.
So across the country, we can see some more of these mild springtime temperatures begin to pop up with a current temperature of 64 in Kansas City, 63 in Memphis. Our cold spot of the country being Caribou at 40 degrees, so they're still lingering quite a bit on the cool side, with our warm spot down in San Antonio, Texas at 86, Phoenix at 83, and 75 down in Miami. And we'll have more weather coming up for you after this break.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back. Now let's look at the national forecast with Nico. First of all, Nico, did you see that solar eclipse yesterday?
Oh yeah, I drove down to Mount Vernon, Illinois, and I saw it firsthand, and I just thought it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, couldn't believe the sight. It was definitely worth the 12-hour drive back. So
that's a long drive. Well, it's looking pretty nice out around here. How about the rest of the country?
Yeah, so currently we've got some storms down in Louisiana at the moment, as you can see, also moving through southeastern Arkansas, as well as some lingering storms out in the Texas Panhandle. And those will continue to propagate eastward into Mississippi and Alabama throughout the next couple of days. So if we zoom in down here on Texas, you can see those strong storms moving. That just moved through Shreveport just right now, pushing out into Mississippi, but also a couple isolated cells that are popping up down northwest of Austin and southwest of Waco. And a couple of them look like they could be even hooking just a little bit, which indicates some rotation, which hopefully won't produce a tornado, but be sure to stay weather aware tonight as this severe weather continues to push eastward across Texas. As you can see, the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk for moderate severe weather in southeastern Texas and western Louisiana for the remainder of the evening. So again, if you are in this region, be sure to have your weather radios plugged in throughout the night, just in case you are in a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning and you feel like you should take shelter. So as you can see, there's a lot of flash flood watches going on across the south right now as those storms and rain will continue to propagate eastward throughout the next couple of days. And northwest Louisiana into the very sliver of eastern Texas are in a severe thunderstorm watch, with some of those severe thunderstorm warnings out where that bow echo is in eastern Louisiana and where those couple supercells are starting to rotate down in Texas. And as you can see, we've got some red flag warnings out in southwestern Texas, and you'll see why pretty here soon. And for the rest of the week, though, we will have that remaining severe weather threats in the south, which will continue for the next day, above average temperatures into the weekend, especially in the Midwest, where we'll start to see some of those very seasonally above average temperatures. And by next week, we'll have some more storm systems moving through the country. And for tomorrow, the SPC Storm Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk for severe weather in south central Mississippi, as well as parts of Louisiana and Alabama. So if you are in this area, be sure tomorrow, do not take anything lightly. If you are under a tornado warning, be sure to take shelter. And just be aware tomorrow, because we don't want anyone to not know what's coming towards them. Looking at the futurecast, you can see by 1:30 or by 2 a.m., those storms kind of start to develop in eastern Texas. They start to fizzle out a little bit late in the afternoon, but by 9 a.m. the next day, tomorrow on Wednesday, you can see those storms have pushed through Louisiana into Mississippi. So between the hours of 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., when a lot of commuters are out on the road, be sure to watch out for severe weather that could be approaching you and your area. And also, if there is flash flooding occurring, please do not drive through it. Turn around, don't drown. And if you do not feel safe driving to work, it's probably best you don't. And by 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, you can see those storms have pushed through Mississippi. Some cellular activity still going on just around the Jackson area up to northern Mississippi. So those are indicative of severe weather that could be potentially going on tomorrow. And as we continue throughout the afternoon, you can see that these storms will start to push into Alabama and Atlanta, as well as southwestern Georgia. And by 11 a.m. on Thursday morning, you should be generally clear of that severe weather threat. But if we take a look at the drought monitor, you can see that New Mexico is in a pretty bad drought right now, as well as a small portion of northeastern Iowa. But these regions that will be getting a lot of the rain, unfortunately, don't need it as much as the rest of the country. And if we take a look at the rainfall futurecast, you can definitely see where those storms will be producing the most rain down in Arkansas, Louisiana, or Mississippi. And they'll be pretty much skimping out on any precipitation falling in northeastern Iowa, as well as New Mexico, where they greatly need that rainfall. And looking at the week ahead in Salina, Kansas, you can see Thursday will be a little cooler, 66 degrees with a low of 34. And as I said earlier, we'll start to see some warmer temperatures in the Midwest, potentially touching 90 on Sunday. So if you're an outdoors person and you are going to be outdoors this weekend, be sure to bring a lot of water with you and sunscreen, as it'll be very hot and sunny. But eventually a cold front will start to push through on Monday, which will bring us some more severe weather into this region. And Thursday, 79 degrees and windy.
Now let's take a look at tonight's trivia question. The trivia question is, what is the largest hailstone ever recorded in the state of Iowa? Is it A, 3 inches, B, 7 inches, C, 5 inches, or D, 9 inches? We'll have that answer for you at the end of the show, plus we'll have your Iowa weather after the break. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at your Iowa weather with Stefan. Stefan, absolutely gorgeous day today, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. And not only will it be a gorgeous day today, but we will continue to see very nice weather conditions throughout the rest of the week. So looking at our Skycam here at Iowa State, we have a very nice 65 degrees in Ames, partly sunny, partly cloudy. Makes for a very beautiful sky this evening. And we have a dew point of 34 degrees, so still fairly on the dry side this spring, and then winds coming out from the west-southwest A little bit breezy, but not terribly windy. Looking at the temperatures across the state, we have fairly temperate temperatures on the lower end of 57 degrees in Decorah, and then as we go a little bit south in Des Moines and Ames, sort of in the central Iowa region, that's where you'll get the slightly warmer temperatures, but still very comfortable temperatures. Looking at our satellite radar, we have very clear conditions. You see a little bit movement above Iowa, kind of in southern Minnesota, but nothing happening in Iowa itself, just very clear conditions overall. And then some headlines this week. We have, like I said before, comfortable weather conditions. We have well above average temperatures this weekend, and we have storm chances early next week, which could be a result of those warmer temperatures. Looking at our future cast, we see that the wind is mostly coming out of the southwest, and then it starts to, the wind starts to turn into northwest winds, and it also starts to increase from some calm conditions to eventually on Thursday morning, 20 miles per hour, where we see more calm conditions in eastern Iowa, and then as we move westward, we see those stronger winds come into play. And looking at the temperature later on in the week, as we move into Wednesday morning, we have fairly cool temperatures, 40 degrees in Ames, 45 degrees in Decorah, and we get up to 49 in Butte. And then as we move into the afternoon and early evening hours of Wednesday, our temperatures will rise to high 60s and low 70s. Council Bluffs sitting at 71 degrees. Still not terribly warm temperatures across the state of Iowa. But then as we move into Thursday morning, once again, our temperatures cool as a result of the sun setting and rising the next day. And then on Thursday, we have much cooler temperatures compared to Wednesday, where we're mainly sitting in the mid to high 50s. And then as we go to Thursday night, temperatures cool off once again. Then looking ahead, we have a little bit of rain coming down in Iowa, which will help the drought a little bit, but we will still be in a severe drought, unfortunately. But we do get a little bit of rain. Anything helps at this point. And then as we move into Friday, we see we have very, very clear conditions throughout the entire weekend. And then Monday and going into Tuesday morning, we start to see more of that rain coming by, which may be part of that storm potential that we will see early next week. And then we get more rain as we move on to Tuesday afternoon. And then looking at the drought monitor, we have central Iowa is a little bit on the dry side, and then as we move to the east, we have this large splotch of an exceptional drought. And like I said before, the rain will help with that a little bit, but will not completely cure this drought that Iowa has been having for quite some time. And then we have kind of an outlier-ish area over in the northwestern part of Iowa, currently not in any sort of drought. And then looking at our skycast, we have very clear skies tonight. This is a great night to go outside, lay down on the grass, and just admire the stars. And we have 39 degrees, which is a little bit on the cool side, especially with the winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll get a little bit of a wind chill from that. And then going into tomorrow, we have mostly cloudy conditions, a little bit sunny here and there, 71 degrees. Again, feels exceptionally great this spring so far. And then moving into the rest of this week, Thursday, watch out for some winds, hold on to your hats. We have low 60s to mid 60 degree temperatures, kind of concluding the week this week, and then we get a little bit more clear conditions as we head on into the weekend. But at the same time, we get a temperature increase, 78 degrees on Saturday and up to 83 degrees on Sunday. And that will most likely lead to some thunderstorms or at least rain chances on Monday and Tuesday next week, followed by a very brief cooling moving on to Tuesday with a chance of storms.
All right, should be a pretty nice rest of the week then. Hoping to get outside this weekend, huh?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Good. Well, thank you, Stefan, for that forecast. And now let's review tonight's trivia question. The trivia question was, what is the largest hailstone ever recorded in the state of Iowa? Is it A, 3 inches, B, 7 inches, C, 5 inches, or D, 9 inches? What do you guys think?
Well, I think a 9-inch hailstone would be very alarming and something that I don't think I will see ever in my life. And so I think a reasonable answer would be on the lower side. I would say 3 inches.
I think I'd probably have to say around 5 inches because I know South Dakota had a 7.5-inch hailstone at some point, and we're not that far away from South Dakota, so maybe 5.
Well, you'd be surprised. The answer is B, 7 inches. On the evening of September 27th in 1959, a storm moved through Scott County, Iowa, producing 7-inch hail. This is the largest reported hail ever to hit Scott County. The damage from the excessively large hail occurred in Davenport, Iowa. Damage estimates of more than $5,000 were caused by the hail after it hit greenhouses in Davenport, as verified by the National Weather Service of Quad Cities. And that concludes tonight's show. So please be sure to follow us on X or Twitter, and you can find all of our shows on YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night.